Welcome back to Fox Hollow Farms. Today we are out in the chicken shed. What we have today is I have a golden pheasant who has a sinus infection. So we're gonna go out, catch him, bring him back inside the shed here, and then we will give him a shot afterwards. And yeah, that's the game plan. Let's see if we can catch him quick, because they're pretty flighty birds and they don't like to be handled very well. In this back corner I have a pair of mandarin ducks and a pair of golden pheasants, and my male golden pheasant, which is there in the back, he has a sinus infection that we are going to take care of today. But let's see if I can catch him. So underneath his eye here, so you can see it, there's a bump. And I'm basically gonna have to make a slit and cut it, and it's gonna be like a hard pimple that comes out. And then I gotta give him a shot. The interesting thing about the golden pheasants is once they're caught, they tend to try to play dead. You can really see it right there. Compared to this side, there's no bump there. But this is just a juvenile pair. They were hatched last spring. So my game plan here is to make a small cut right below his eye, right there. And we gotta try to remove that lump. I just got a new blade on my knife, so I know it's gonna be sharp and I know it's clean. And then after we do that, this is really scary. I don't know how I'm gonna do this with one hand. But let's go for it, I guess. So this is not going how I thought it would. Nothing has come out except for blood. There it comes. I think I got most of it. Well, before we let him go, see, he's awake. He just plays dead. I'm gonna try one more time to get a little bit more out. Then I'll give him a shot. Then I'll just keep a close eye on him every day. I would have taken him to my vet, but he does not work on birds. So I didn't really have any option but to do it myself, because nobody works on birds around here. I'm sorry, buddy. So this shot's just penicillin. I'm gonna give it into his right breast. That way it's not close to his heart. I'm gonna try to get underneath his feathers here. I gave him about 3 cc's of penicillin to help with it. But yeah, hopefully that takes care of his problem. Yeah, it's just a little bit swelled up now, but I did not like doing that. Sorry, buddy. See, this side, he's really alert, looks good. That other side's a little swelled up from me messing with it. This guy does mean a lot to me because he's my first pheasant, and he's a red golden pheasant, which I'm really excited about. Hoping to hatch some babies coming this spring. He's got a few feathers on his head coming in, and then down his back he's getting some red, and his chest he's got a few red feathers. But yeah, that'll do it for him. I really hope that takes care of it. I feel really bad, but I'm the one that has to do it because there's nobody around who can do it. But yeah, I got some pus-like stuff out of it. It's like a hard pimple, basically. Got about as much as I thought was in there, and messed with it a little bit to make sure it was all out. But I'm hoping that does the trick for him. Poor guy. His name is Phoenix. It's a fitting name for a red golden pheasant. Got a beautiful long tail. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on him the next couple days and see how he does. I'll definitely keep an eye on that cut. Make sure it stays clean and that nobody's pecking at it. Here we are back to their enclosure. I'll just let him go. I think he'll be alright. You'll be alright, buddy? But, yep. On to the next thing, which is taking care of all these critters. We gotta give everybody food and water for the day. And then we have some cold weather coming this week. So I'm gonna wanna put up one last tarp. It got cold a couple weeks ago and I was able to get the tarps up, but then it got warm again into the 40s, so I took a tarp off, and now we're gonna see some negatives possibly, so I'll throw this other tarp on just to keep them out of the wind. I think it's gonna be like 15-20 mile an hour wind, so the wind comes from that direction, which is right into my coop. So I definitely wanna cover this up. I have everything laid out and ready to go. It shouldn't take too long. So we feed our ducks, chickens, and quail layer feed from the local feed mill. That's kind of what's been best for us, and everything still keeps laying and everybody loves it, so that's what we do, and it's cheaper, a lot cheaper than any Tractor Supply or name brand food that you can get. But usually I give about 5 scoops of feed to the outdoor run, the chickens and ducks. Then I just fill this pen up here with the feeder, which is my golden lace trio that I'm gonna be hatching out here when they start laying eggs. And then I just fill up the feeders for my quail. What do you see? What do you see? Everybody came outside, huh? One thing I want to do today also is clean out the duck pond. Basically, get all the ice and water out, put new water in, and then I have a pond heater that I'm going to put in there as well, just to keep that open during the winter. That way, when their water jug back there freezes, which it does about all the time, I hardly use it during the winter, the chickens and the ducks, they can still drink from here. I also have heated dog dishes, but the ducks tend to make a mess of that pretty quick. So for my quail pen that I just built, I have J feeders in the back, and then I have rent-a-coop waterers in the front, which I'm not really a huge fan of either of that setup, really, because with the J feeders, the quail, they spill a ton of feed and they waste it all. And the rent-a-coop waterers, they tend to leak. Every time I come out here, they're almost empty. So I'm not really a fan of either of that, but I just built this, so it's my setup right now. I'm just running with it. And then maybe down the line I might change up my feeding and watering system. But basically I just give a scoop, fill up their feed to the top, fill their water to the top, and that's it. I already collected all the eggs today. Well, it looks like my water jugs are frozen, so we'll go fill up some more water, take care of all the watering. So the way I empty out this water for the ducks to swim in and the chickens to drink is just with a shovel. It is not a very good method to do it, but it's what works for me for now because it's just so small anyways. There, that's it. Now I gotta fill it with water, which is kind of a pain now because my hose is too short. I basically just have to fill up buckets of water and do it that way. A lot of pressure built up in there. A couple pieces of ice came out. Didn't quite get it on video. So with it getting really cold, I wanted to keep this thawed out. So I bought a stock tank heater. Very simple. I have an extension cord already ran out here for the electric dog dishes, but I'm just gonna plop that in there. Of course, it's not gonna reach. So I'll just slide this over as far as I can. Plug it in. And it's not at the bottom, but it's hopefully in there far enough that it'll keep that thawed out. Filled up one last bucket of water for the ducks and the pheasants and the mandarins, and that'll be it. And then I have something that I need to show you guys. There, everybody's got food and water. Splashed myself in the face a little bit, that's exciting. My first egg was laid, and I think it was a pheasant egg. My guess is she was perched up here somewhere and she happened to lay her egg. Clean this up, that way they don't get the idea that they need to eat it. But it's kind of a shame because I was hoping to hatch some, but yeah, that definitely looks like a, I would say a pheasant egg. But because it's laid, I'm gonna check the nest boxes to see if there's any more. That one's empty. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry. And that one's empty. But yeah, I guess now we need to start checking for eggs out here. That's a lot sooner than I expected them to lay. I was thinking they were gonna lay like more like April, and it's only the end of January right now. So the boards I was gonna use got a little bit of snow on them, so I'll just have to pull them out. We'll hang up the tarp first, which I have some nails for that, for it to just go on perfectly, and then I had just a small gap here, so that's why I put that piece of particle board on. Just finished closing everything else off. This tarp was here before. Try again. Dead battery. Now my coop is winterized, as you can see. I can still use that gate to get out there. I know it's not the prettiest, but it sure is the cheapest, which I like a lot. I have been recently running a heater in here because it gets so cold. The only reason for that is to keep the waters thawed out on the quail pens. Speaking of which, while we were working, they left us a couple surprises. Oh. There, a celadon and a caturnix. But I also have snowflake quail in here and a pair of Mexican speckled quail. They will start laying hopefully in the spring when my exotics start laying a little bit more too. And my golden lace trio. I haven't gotten an egg from them yet today, or at all actually. But yeah, we have a lot in the incubator right now, so we got a lot of chicks coming, mostly quail. Have 11 call duck eggs that are all looking good right now, and we just put in a dozen chicken eggs for my sister-in-law just yesterday, so we'll check on them in about a week or so and get ready for a lot of eggs to hatch. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next one.